What's going on, guys? Firewolf Tech here, showing you guys the Samsung 32-inch Odyssey Neo G8 gaming monitor. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys all around this 240Hz monitor, so let's get it. The Neo G8 features a 1000R curved 4K VA panel with quantum mini LEDs, which Samsung says creates controlled brightness and perfect contrast for refined definition. You get a resolution of 3840 by 2160, which puts the PPI density at about 138 pixels per inch. Gaming is its strongest flex with a fast response time of 1 millisecond and a crazy 240Hz refresh rate. Sadly, there's no NVIDIA G-Sync, but it does come with AMD FreeSync Premium Pro. Alright, let's first dive into the unboxing experience of the 32-inch Odyssey Neo G8. Now, not to be confused with the Odyssey OLED G8, for some reason Samsung makes it a little confusing. I appreciate how well packaged this monitor is. It's surprisingly lightweight at about 15 pounds without the stand. You can see that nice 1000R curvature, which should make the experience immersive. I do love the white design on the back. I think it looks really fire. Alright, here I am lifting up the monitor here with ease. Very surprising given the size of this monitor. Alright, so taking a look inside the box here, we're going to have the first piece of the stand, which is going to be the feet. It does have a really nice black color to it. And then we have the monitor arm, and this one's going to be coated in a white and black color scheme. I do love it a lot. It's giving me some PS5 vibes. I mean, let me know what you guys think of this color scheme. It does have a really good amount of resistance here. Looks like it has a really good amount of height adjustability as well. And this is going to be the VESA mount bracket here. Now this is what I'm going to personally use to mount the monitor on my monitor arm. And then here's a plastic ring that will go on the back of the monitor to kind of lock it in. And then I forgot to mention the bottom cover. Completely forgot throughout this video, so I do apologize for that. Here we have the power brick. It's actually very large with the US plug in a gray color scheme. And then we have a DisplayPort cable and a USB upstream, and that's pretty much it for cables. So now let's look into the inputs we get. I like how they include two HDMI 2.1 ports, which is great for connecting your PS5 or Series X. We also get one DisplayPort, one USB upstream, and two USB downstream ports. Sadly, there are no built-in speakers, just a headphone port. And on the bottom of the monitor, we have all our controls as well as a power button. I wish it really came with a remote though. Alright, so let's go ahead and install the OEM monitor stand here. Now, the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to have to use a screwdriver to screw it into the stand itself. And then we're going to take the monitor arm, we're going to line it up, and we're going to put it in an angle so it can attach itself. Now, unfortunately, they make it very complicated to install this, so you will need a screwdriver, or I'm using a drill here to screw all 4 screws in. And then once we're done, we have the plastic piece that we're going to put together. And then once we put it together, you want to basically place it down and kind of turn it clockwise so it kind of locks into place. Alright, so taking a look at the back of the monitor here, I think it looks absolutely fire with that white and black color scheme. Unfortunately, since I mentioned earlier the back cover, I completely forgot about that. I would have attached it on the back to show you guys, but I completely forgot, so I do apologize for that. Looking at the front now, I'm going to remove the bottom plastic piece, revealing a nice matte black finish. The great thing about the monitor stand is that it has tilts, swivel, height adjustments, and it also pivots all the way for a nice vertical setup. This gives you many options on how you want to set this monitor up on your desk setup. Alright, so the monitor stand itself is great. However, I prefer mounting my monitor on my desk arm, which gives me a lot more space and freedom. Now, once we take off all the screws, we're going to use the VESA mount bracket here, and using the same 4 screws that we removed, we're going to use that to attach it. I really wish they had a built-in VESA mount instead of having to install a separate mount option. Kind of makes it a little bit more tedious. Now, once we have it installed, we can install our VESA mount adapter here, and I'm going to use thumb screws here. Now, one thing to note, the threads of this VESA mount bracket is very hard, and it took a lot of force to put them in. And now we're ready to mount it on my desk arm. Now the desk arm that I'm using here is the AVLT Premium 13 through 43 inch monitor arm, and I will link this one in the description box below, so make sure you guys check that out. And the great thing about the monitor is that since it's light, it's very easy to install it. And once you hear click, it's ready to go. Now we're finally ready to turn on the Samsung Odyssey Neo G8 and click on the power button here. I have my Mac Studio connected via DisplayPort, and for some reason it only detects 120 Hertz. And I later realized that you do have to set it up for 240 Hertz, but for some reason the Mac Studio does not detect the highest refresh rate of 240 Hertz, so I could not figure this out. If anybody knows of a solution, let me know in the comment section below. And to change the refresh rate, you do have to go to the settings on the bottom of the monitor, and under the game and refresh rate, you can enable 240 Hertz. And even though I enable that, the Mac Studio itself is unable to detect that 240 Hertz. Now, while I have my Mac Studio connected via DisplayPort, I do have my gaming PC connected via HDMI 2.1. So I'm going to switch the inputs using the menu settings on the monitor itself. And the same thing here, it doesn't automatically detect 240 Hertz. And it's a little bit annoying here. I really wish that it just by default enabled 240 Hertz. So you do have to go through the menu settings to enable 240 Hertz. And once you do that, you are able to then change the settings and change the refresh rate to the max settings. And then after that, I'm going to change the HDR settings here. I'm going to turn it to on. And once we have that on, we're able to enable everything that we need to enable, which is 10-bit, fastest refresh rate, and now we're ready to jump into a nice gaming session. I'm running Modern Warfare at the highest setting with a 16:9 aspect ratio, and it looks absolutely fire. The response time is very fast and the HDR works amazing. The 1000R curvature gives a really great sense of immersion. For gaming, this monitor performs very well. Every action looks buttery smooth, and I can only imagine getting higher frames with a 40 series graphics card. My 3080 Ti is averaging about 120 frames, which isn't bad given the size and 4K resolution. Jumping into another match, if you're ever in a domination match, always rush B. Alright, so let's go ahead and set up the PlayStation 5 here. Now it automatically detects a new monitor, which will automatically readjust the HDR settings here. And I have this connected via HDMI 2.1 as well. And with that, the video output information is going to automatically result in the highest resolution, which is 3840 by 2160, and it supports variable refresh rates all the way up to 120 Hertz. And this is especially great because all of the action sequences in the game look absolutely beautiful on this display. And I just love that it includes that HDMI 2.1, which will fully support not only the PS5, but it also supports your Series X. I mean, playing on this monitor is definitely beautiful. And since it's not ultra wide, you do get the benefit of utilizing 4K using next generation consoles here. And booting up a Modern Warfare gameplay here, you can see that the HDR brightens everything up and it looks absolutely stunning. I just really wish that they included built-in speakers here, because with the PS5, your only option here is going to be headphones here. So unfortunately, that's something that I wish it had. Going back to my Mac Studio, for me, the most important part of a monitor is how well it boosts my productivity. One of the apps I use the most is Final Cut Pro, and creating content with this on a 4K VA display is a great experience. I personally prefer ultra-wide monitors for productivity, but given the size of this 32-inch Neo G8, I feel like it gives me enough space to create content. The blacks look very rich, not as good as OLED, but definitely better than most. The pricing of this monitor is very high, which makes recommending this really hard. Out the box, I don't like how the refresh rates are locked at 120 Hz, and I also didn't like the fact that I had to go through the menu settings to turn on the front and back RGB lighting. Overlooking that, this monitor doesn't disappoint with all the features it's packing. The colors look amazing and text look nice and sharp. All in all guys, the Samsung 32-inch Odyssey Neo G8 monitor is a stunning gaming monitor that I would recommend as a dedicated gaming monitor. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching guys.